450 class riders rolling to the gate for their second moto. We'll show you what happened in their first race a little over an hour ago today. Marvin Musquin on the Red Bull KTM, the Frenchman, number 25, out front early.
Yeah, he got a great start, exactly what he wanted, but look at the carnage behind. Bottleneck up there. One of the guys, mid-pack was Eli Tomac, but Josh Grant, the local boy, watch this, squares up Cole Seeley, inside, outside, then goes a long way around, gets the pass done.
And makes it happen. That would put Grant up into second place. Here's Tomac, who started about 13th. He's last week's winner. He would get around Seeley. Now he gets around Christian Craig to take over third. And then he would catch up to his teammate Grant for second. This is late. He gets the number 2 spot. Boy, pushing the envelope big time in those corners, but he was not able to mount any sort of a challenge or be any sort of a threat to Musquin, who wins his first 450 class moto win in the United States, second year in the Premier Division. So there are your results from the first moto. Good job of the Honda boys. Craig finishes up in 4th. Seeley holds on for 7th. American Motorsports lost one of its great ambassadors on Monday. World Superbike competitor Nicky Hayden passed away from injuries sustained while training on a bicycle in Italy. He was 35 years old. Nicky captured the AMA Superbike title in 2002 and was the last American to win the prestigious MotoGP World Championship in 2006. The entire racing community mourns the loss of a racing champion and a true American hero. Well, a tough day for the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team. First moto, Austin Forkner, bike problems while running in the top 5. Already at that point, his teammate Justin Hill dealt with bike problems. In Moto 2, the 17 and Joey Savacci, bike problems here. So 4 riders on the team, and 3 of them did not finish a moto with mechanical issues. Georgia, give us an update.
Yes, it's not the part of the day you want to go and speak to the teams, but just had a word with Mitch Payton, the team manager for the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team. He said he thinks that it's a new part that they put on the bike for this weekend. They don't know 100% until they tear it down and take that part off and try again. Then they'll have more information, but that seems to be the problem. It's happened to, multiple times now, so that's what they're going to go back to the drawing board, take that part off and see if they can figure it out.
Well, at least the quality control is consistent, because it happened to almost all the bikes. So everybody knows they're getting the same equipment on that team. We're going to go back to the 450 class right after this. Back to Glen Helen. Let's give you a tour of this facility via the MX versus ATV track map. Grant?
Oh, the starts never changed since I've been here in the last 17 years, but Talladega is not a 180, it's a 90 up the hill. Hopefully you get that motorsport.com whole shot. Then down the hill into the hardest braking zone, well, one of 2, under the Lucas Oil Bridge, back up Mount St. Helen. Little change of the track, make a right-hander right before the big flag at the top of the hill. Drop down, nothing that hasn't changed is the big braking bumps right here. Very tough, very technical. Find your line, find your braking zone. Then back into the canyon, over the Lucas Oil step-up jump. This section, a lot more rocky and rutted back there. Down here, a little more loose. One more left-hander, up to this top right-hand, hip jump to the hill. Little rollers, and then get on the gas as hard as you can over that Red Bull triple step up into this double 90, which creates 180. Back down where the fans are, it's the low part of the track where it's soft, loamy, left, right, chicane. Get your weight back, pick a line, go through these rollers, hit the brakes over the tunnel jump, accelerate over the finish line jump, triple through here is the way to go. Make a right-hander. We've seen guys go inside, outside, about 5 or 6 rollers through there. Find your rhythm, another left, right, then into the sand and back through the sand, and that's a lap here at Glen Helen.
Justin Barcia wins the Deltram Battery Tender RC Hard Charger Award. This dates back to last week. He passed the most riders of anyone in any race because he crashed on the first lap of our first moto 7 days ago and came all the way back for an 11th place finish. That's about 30 riders that he passed, so congrats to Barcia on that one. We are just about ready for the second moto gate drop here in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Your first moto winner was Marvin Musquin. He was on a KTM. Now it's time for the KTM keys to the moto.
Well, for some guys, the rebound race. You know, we talked about Justin Borsche there, number 51. He's one of those guys. Maybe Anderson. Webb didn't have a great opening round result-wise. Second thing is the downhills can be dangerous, as in when you brake late, they get kicked over the bars. So for these guys, that's the easiest place to make a big mistake. Don't do that. Watch the danger downhill and seize the momentum. Tomac had it. He's kind of still rolling with it. Muskin got that win the first moto. Can someone step up? Anderson, maybe Baggett, maybe Webb. There's several riders out there. Borsche. And let's not forget, Josh Grant, the local boy. Third in the first moto. Has he got what it takes to pull out a win?
And Muscan, who is on the left side of your screen of the orange number 25, will try to deliver his first ever overall win in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross after getting his first ever moto win in the 450 class earlier today. The Fly Racing 30-second card is up. And when Kerry Bowling turns that sideways, the revs will come up. And the gate is down at Glen Helen.
Oh, what a ripping start on the inside there from Baggett, wheeling all the way down the start line. But Christian Craig, what a start in that first turn. He gets the whole shot. The motorsport.com hold on. It's a Honda KTM and a gaggle of riders. Do they get through there? Wow, it actually looks like, I think everyone, well, maybe one rider went down, but wow.
That's
good start of
relatively good.
That's impressive.
All right, so Baggett, first good start of the year for him in second. And Craig has been nailing all his starts. Also first good start of the year really for Borsche. He had a decent one last week, but we're going to see what some of these guys can do. Now they're toward the front. Muscan, where's he? Tomac, where is he? Grant, where is he? All right, Grant's the best of the top three in the first moto.
Yeah.
Steven Green there in about fourth place.
Yeah, he's sitting fifth at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got Craig, Baggett, Bogle, Borsche, Grant. That's your top five. Tickle now in sixth place. As we look, and it's showing us on timing and scoring that Tomac came through the first section as 13th place, and Seeley 14th, Webb 15th, Wilson 16th. A lot of top riders outside the top 10 on the opening lap.
All right, it's the opportunity that a lot of these riders have been looking for. Craig going to try to run it in strong while leading. Baggett, a lot of talk about Baggett and how good he is outdoors. Former champion in our 250 class and has logged a lot of laps in this track. He's from California. He's in second. Then it's Borsche on the 51. Bogle right now getting worked over by the 33 of Grant. Oh, Craig got him.
I can't believe he made that happen. Outside to inside, it makes it work. And look at this, Anderson doing the smart thing. Staying out of it, and Grant goes down.
He was charging so hard early on. Make hay while the sun shines, as they say, while his rivals were behind him. Then he hit the hay and went down.
And it's, you see that? Tomac off the track. I think he stalled. Josh
Tomac's
Grant,
got problems, yeah.
Tomac trying to get around. Josh Grant went off the track. And wait.
Is there a problem with the bike? He is really slow to get back on. I guess it's just there's a problem with the front wheel. There's a problem with the front wheel of Tomac's bike. He cannot go.
It's locking up.
Yes.
So I wonder if he got that front disc bent. Now he's got momentum, but look, you can see it's locking up. That is basically,
he's got to get to the mechanics area and see if they can. Now, if it's a front brake, if the brake rotor is bent, they've got problems. Now, he did have a problem in Supercross. They were able to cut the front brake line, release the pressure, and at least the front wheel would roll. He didn't have the brakes at that point. But
I can't believe that.
Unbelievable. That front wheel, yeah, just doesn't want to turn.
Yeah.
So a disaster for Eli Tomac, your points leader, coming into this race. He is for certain not going to be the points leader when it's over. The question is, can he get all the way around to the mechanics area in time to fix that motorcycle and score some points?
Yeah,
the Kawasaki guys are ready to go to work.
I'm pretty sure that the front, to me, it looks like the front disc is bent. Because every time he goes anywhere, when he gets speed, it goes, but that front wheel is basically binding. It's locking up. See the crew there, got the stand. Man, I tell you what, if Tomac can score points out of this race, we need to think about this long term. If Eli, get your weight back and let that front wheel just keep spinning. This is very tough in these turns. It's locking up. See,
I've never seen anything quite like this. It is a slow race. The entire pack is pulled away from him now, but he's just got to nurse it around. This right-hand turn, then he can make a left and get to the mechanics area, and the team is ready.
It's a bent disc. I'm 99% sure, because once he gets going, you can tell it's binding, but it's still turning. Now watch. They're going to go in. This is championship-type material stuff right here.
Absolutely.
Off the bike, on the stand. They're going to ask him. They probably already know at this point.
Okay, they're going to try to snip the front brake line, and let's see if that fixes the problem or not. That would be a quick solution. If it's a bent disc like you're suspecting, they've got to take the wheel off.
Yeah, they're trying to check right now. You see now the wheel's turning.
Meanwhile, Christian Craig, shout out to him, leading on the HRC Honda, putting a couple laps in the books here and actually moving away a bit on Blake Baggett. Lead is about 1.3 seconds. So, Christian Craig, who's going to win this one? Muscan, not a great start. He's 5th. The door is open for someone to score what would be a huge win. Georgia, what's happening down in the pits?
Well, it looks like they're cooling the radiators down, like you were saying, but it looks like they're changing something on the clutch right now. The front brake. They're changing something, unscrewing it, and I think they're going to see if that, like, completely changing it out will, help out the situation. But right now, Eli Tomac, either way, is going to be having not the best result in the second moto, and this is huge for a championship.
They did not solve it by simply cutting the line like we saw happen a few months ago in Supercross. They keep pumping the brake.
Yeah, that is, like I said,
they're now going to change the front wheel, but they weren't in a rush to do it. They must have thought it was a different issue. They didn't immediately go to change the front wheel.
See, now it's spinning.
Yeah,
they didn't change it.
No, they never changed it. Okay, well, he's ready to go back out, but here's the problem. Craig has already gone by. He is going to be in lap down. Craig is about 2 turns further ahead. Tomac's going to pull out of the track here momentarily.
You'll see it. There he is.
Yep.
Just went across your screen, pulled out of the pit. So already a lapper.
That was bizarre.
I am confused because he still doesn't look very confident. And trust me, my front wheel is locking, dropping off these downhills.
And what if he does not have a front brake on these downhills?
I'd rather have no front brake than the front brake locking going over the drop-off. So,
absolutely.
I'm a little dumbfounded. You see they got that carbon cover over the front disc.
Yeah.
That's to protect it, or hopefully protect it from getting bent, or, exactly what we thought may have happened.
Beyond this, the Tomac situation, your points leader being a lap down, that's going to shake up the series standings, also the overall for the day. If it ended like this, Christian Craig would win the overall. He's leading this moto. He finished 4th in the first one. Georgia might have more from the pits. Go ahead, Georgia.
Yes, just spoke to some of the members in the team. They said they don't know 100% what it is. It could be like a bent front rotor or something like that, but they did. They cut the front brake. So right now, Eli Tomac is out on track without a front brake, which, Langston, you can tell us how hard that's going to be.
Well, it's going to be extremely difficult on the downhills. And if it is still a bent front rotor, imagine the front wheel binding. So when you jump, it's slowing down. It's hard to explain, but anyone that rides knows when you dab the rear brake in the air and stop that wheel from turning, you pull in the clutch so you don't stall the engine, it drops the front end. So we're going to look at a replay.
This out. Okay, we saw Grant go down, and then Tomac is in this mess here.
Watch right when Josh Grant gets on his bike, as he gets to go, watch Tomac. He's about to come into your screen right there.
He's got problems.
He's got problems already. And then, look, he has to take evasive action, but I'm thinking maybe he hit someone in the corner before, because, look, that front wheel was straight up just binding. Look, lock. He's trying to go. He's looking forward. He's confused as well, probably as much as we are. Then he goes, look, locks. So, let's try and narrow it down. It's a problem with the front wheel turning. So it's either the brake binding or a bent disc.
Yeah. Meanwhile, as if this day in the 250 class wasn't crazy enough, this might be even wilder in the 450s. Christian Craig, who has never won an overall in the 250 class, was called up to replace the injured Ken Roxon in a 450, is putting in humans-like work for Honda right now, leading this one. But here comes Blake Baggett on the Rocky Mountain WPS KTM, the number 4. 2 Southern California natives battling for the lead. And also interesting in this one, Marvin Muscat, who dominated the first moto, has been stuck in 5th. He's not really making up any ground on these riders. What a wild day at the races.
That's what you got to love about Glen Helen. It's just one of those tracks that brings the best and the worst out of the bikes, the riders, and everything and everyone. Late in the day, you can see the shadows on the track. I can guarantee you from first-hand experience, the shadows at this place are brutal because of the massive uphills and downhills. You're staring in the sun at times, and you're looking into long shadows where you can't even see the rust up. But who cares? The fans are on their feet. They're pumped up.
Yeah, give it to
That's why they came and paid all their money to watch this. And this is why they appreciate watching the best of the best, because when it gets its worst, it's when it gets its best. Baggett, look to the inside there. Craig couldn't quite get it done. Watch, he's going to switch to the outside. Problem is, this all funnels into one line, and then look behind them.
Yeah, we got a third rider on the scene, Jason Anderson, and neither of these three riders, none of these three have ever won a moto on a 450 in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. So this is the opportunity they've all been waiting for. Craig, Baggett, Anderson, the door is open, boys. Go for that moto win. Here comes Baggett. Going to try to work it down to the inside, but Craig doing a good job holding the lines. And all the while, Anderson closing in third.
Oh, this is awesome right there. Three brands from three different parts of the world. You got Honda, Austria, Japan,
yeah,
Austria, and then Sweden, now owned by Austrians, but great to see different brands from different parts of the world, different riders, but you put them all together and you get this, just fantastic racing for the lead.
Another battle back there, Barsha in yellow on the JGR Monster Suzuki trying to hold off Muscan for fourth. Baggett, you can tell he and Anderson have picked up the pace. They are throwing everything they can at Craig. Here comes Anderson down to the inside. Can he get second from Baggett? No, Baggett's going to hold him.
I almost feel like maybe they all got the pitbull that says, today's the day.
Yeah.
You can win the overall, because they're all riding like this is their time to prove themselves to the world of motocross. Look at this.
Baggett, wow, that was a suicide mission to come down that hill that fast. He barely made the corner, and I mean just barely. And this is the first time this year we've seen type of old school El Chupacabra charges from Baggett. The first three motos were okay for him this season. And he told me today they changed everything on that bike from last week. And you see Anderson make the move on Craig. Can he hold it around the outside? Yes, he can.
Yes, that's the momentum right there. Craig was not able to close the door at the exit of the corner. Anderson had the momentum, got that down in because he can see starting to get away. I think Craig, he's riding a good pace, but you almost just feel like the 4 and the 21 are just another next level. And they've probably, like I said, I'm almost guaranteed they've been given that pitboard saying, hey, you have a chance. Like, it's your overall to win.
All right, so it's going to be a fun battle. Baggett and Anderson, who have had many great fights on the racetrack, are set for another one for the win. Here's your Garmin course preview. Ronnie Stewart running the helmet cam. This is what a start looks like in motocross.
Oh, what a beautiful look. Didn't quite get the whole shot, but you can see the leaders on the inside. Oh, Wilson pushing out. Was that the Rice?
Oh, there's Barsha right next to him. And Dean Wilson right in front, as you mentioned. Cooper Webb on the 2. And you get to see the entire pack behind Ronnie Stewart as well with our Garmin Verve camera. Now, by the way, Ronnie Stewart rides and trains with our leader, Blake Baggett. Had some problems with his motorhome this week, and Baggett's dad said, hey, Ronnie, finish in the top 20. I'll pay for the repairs. Battle is on for the lead here. You got El Chupacabra and El Hombre fighting for it. Blake Baggett and Jason Anderson, they're taking advantage of the opportunity. Eli Tomac, your series points here, is way back with front brake problems. Marvin Muscan dominated Moto 1. He is fourth, but really not closing on them. The mechanic, Laredo, says, be smart.
Oh,
really smart. He went to the inside, took the lead. Good job, Jason Anderson. He's got...
Oh, ho, ho. Anderson is on fire right now. He is fired up. And this is probably the best I've ever seen Jason Anderson ride outdoors, period. Blake Baggett doesn't surprise me. But Anderson had a rough start to the season. He has a replay. We didn't quite see it. Didn't get a drive. Baggett, you see there, kind of bobbled coming off that jump. Anderson, weight back to the inside. And that's one of those weird positions where Baggett was probably looking out of the left of his peripheral at his mechanic. Meanwhile, Anderson was sneaking up on the right, and by the time he realized he was there, he had the inside in the next corner.
It's not done. Baggett has come right back up on Anderson.
Yeah, he has.
And this should be a good one because, hey, early in the season, you just want to get points in the motos. When the opportunity to win one comes, you got to throw all the caution to the wind. Well, 15 minutes into the moto, 15 minutes to go, you can call Geico, save 15% on your insurance in 15 minutes. What are you thinking, Grant?
I'm thinking if I'm Blake Baggett, I'm calling Geico right now. I'd take that insurance policy and try and guarantee yourself a great ride in the opening round. He wants to be on the podium overall. The way it stands, it would still be Muscan and then Anderson second overall, Craig Baggett. But like one position switch for the lead between Baggett and Anderson, that changes things dramatically.
Yes, because with the pass, Baggett went from second overall. He got bumped all the way back to fourth overall. And Christian Craig with a 4 and a 3 at the moment would be third overall on the day. Marvin Musquin would be your overall winner with a first and a fourth. That's how crazy the day's been. Oh, Anderson almost lost the front end.
Yeah, the front end creeped out of that inside right there. Almost tucked it so they come through. Anderson, Baggett, Craig sitting in third. There's your first moto winner. Musquin in fourth as we look at our motorsport.com whole shot replay, and you can see it right there. Craig on the Honda gets a great drive, Baggett up the inside, almost looked like he had it, but that line into that first turn gives it to Craig. He gets that motorsport.com whole shot, and then you see all the riders have to funnel in behind him. Good starts there for Barsha, Bogle.
We'll get to watch Brock Tickle, who comes in around fifth. Tickle has moved around Bogle, Barsha, Pike, the other Suzuki riders. Tickle is fifth and not too far back from Musquin. Let's send it down to Georgia. Got a special guest.
Yes, Connor Fields. It's not often that I get to be in the presence of an Olympic gold medalist. BMX 2016. You were just telling me Christian Craig used to ride BMX as a kid, doing great in this moto, but how is it watching motocross compared to what you do?
I mean, it's been a good time out here today. This is my first time at this track, and you know, when you see the hills on TV, they look big, but when you're out here, it's a whole nother level. They are so big and so steep, and I have the utmost respect for these guys and what they do.
Well, huge congratulations. Thank you, Connor.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, Christian Craig giving a lot of people something to cheer for and something to worry about with the mistake as Craig's trying to hold on to third. This is one of the best stories going. Honda put so much effort into signing Ken Roczen, last year's champion, bringing him over from Suzuki. Season started out great for them with a couple wins in Supercross, and then Roczen went down with a devastating injury. What a pickup to put Craig on this bike and have him trying to put it on the podium. Here comes Musquin, your first moto winner. Hey, fourth isn't bad, and it would be enough to win the overall, but not quite the same performance as we saw in Moto 1 from Marvin.
Big picture points lead.
Absolutely.
So right now, no Marvin. He's a calculated rider. He's thinking about the big picture. He's not going to ride over his head.
All right, so Marvin going to try to play the long game out here, try to lock down an overall win and grab that red plate from Tomac, who's way back. On a day that really doesn't need any more drama, we just found it. Christian Craig, who was running in third. That was a dream ride for the Southern California native. At his home track, he has crashed out of this race, holding his left arm. He was in some serious pain at first. Seems to be doing a little bit better now, but he's definitely out. Oh, man.
Actually, you know what? Now that I see the replay, you can tell he bounced over that single without the bike. So it took a lot of impact on that right upper part of the body, which explains the wrist, maybe the arm, shoulder.
Man, all right, so he was definitely favoring, but then, like I said, after a few initial moments there, he looked to be in real pain, was able to walk off under his own power. Hopefully Christian's okay. Back to our leader, Jason Anderson, who has, for the moment, stabilized the battle for the #1 spot with Blake Baggett. He's pulled away by about 4 seconds. So Anderson would be going for his first career moto win on a 450. And I believe he only has one career moto win in total, even from the 250 class. So as you were alluding to earlier, this might be the best motocross race we've ever seen him log. He did get a moto win at the very prestigious Motocross of Nations last year, which is a team event. But the sad part for Anderson, that was a great moment of glory for him to win a moto for Team USA, and then he was landed on over the finish line jump by another rider and was not able to compete in his second moto that day. So besides that moto win, this is the first domestic moto win possibly for him if he can hold on. Baggett's still solid in second. Baggett said they changed everything in the bike from the last week. Forks, triple clamp springs. Hey, this is it, the big one. Tomorrow morning, F1 is on NBC, the Monaco Grand Prix. There is nothing quite like the spectacle of this race, a crown jewel of that sport. That'll be on NBC tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Little international flair here on NBCSN through the F1 coverage, and of course here in motocross. The Frenchman, Marvin Musquin, looking for the overall win today. He won the first moto earlier. And on a day that has had so many ups and downs for so many teams and so many riders, Marvin is trying to play it smart here. He's got a first in the first race. Locking down third in this one, although Brock Tickle is not going away. But Marvin seems to be trying to ride within himself and just bring this home on a track that has led to some heartbreak for a lot of riders this afternoon. Tickle is riding phenomenally well. He is not letting Marvin off the hook.
I've said it before, Brock Tickle is the guy behind the guys. I call him the silent assassin. He's always there, rides solid. There's a reason why Ricky Carmichael, Kerry Hart gave him, you know, that chance. He's a solid anchor, rides great every weekend. He's become almost the new Brett Metcalf of the series. You know, the fourth, fifth place guy. It's only a matter of time before I think he's on the podium. But what a great ride, Tickle, doing what he does, get results, get points.
Yep. Young man out of North Carolina. There's Muscan holding the overall lead. And on a day that has been so up and down for so many people, it is obviously very critical to keep these bikes in good running order. And Motion Pro offers some ways to do that. So let's join Georgia Lindsay earlier with our Motion Pro What's in Your Toolbox.
Joined by Grant Hutchinson, Justin Bogle on the number 19 bike mechanic. Now, changing things out on the bike, very important throughout the week and motos. But you have this Motion Pro funnel. This really calculates what you need to do. How do you use it?
Yeah, throughout the race, we changed the oil a couple times, so this is one tool that really helps. It already has all the set CCs and the amount of oil we put in it. Fill it in the truck, walk it out, put it in the bike. One tool does all.
Now, it's pretty cool. We have the valve here and the magnets. Put it on your toolbox. Both things pretty useful.
Yeah, definitely useful.
Thank you, Grant.
And one of those RCH bikes, we saw Tickle in 4th and Bogle is in 5th. So this is a great day for the Yoshimura RCH Suzuki team. Bogle upended his whole life from Oklahoma, and then about 6 weeks ago said, I got to change something, man. It's just not working. So he moved to Ricky Carmichael's farm in Florida. Ricky Carmichael, the co-owner of this team, and a totally different philosophy on training and riding and practicing. And Bogle said, listen, man, I had to try something. And he can come out here and put that bike in the top 5. They'll prove that new program, although he knows it's early in the stages and it's going to be a while before he feels the full effect, definitely an improvement here.
Yeah, of course. When things aren't working, you have to make a change, which comes back to, you know, the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if it is broke, do something different. And for Bogle, a rider with a lot of talent, he's won a East Coast Supercross Championship in the 250 class, moved up, and, you know, at times he's looked, in my opinion, pretty good, and other times he's looked below average. And for a rider of this caliber, I'm glad he made a change, acknowledged things weren't going as well as they should be. And, of course, if you're going to go somewhere, at least go to Ricky Carmichael's farm, and I guarantee you they can show you something or two.
Absolutely, and learning a lot about testing the motorcycle, he said, this year as well. So he's trying to salvage his season after a rough one in Supercross, and now these guys are trying to grab these trophies on the podium. Marvin Muscan is in line for 1. Anderson and Baggett, 2nd and 3rd overall today. In 2 weeks, the Red Bull Signature Series takes you to Hawaii, where surfers will take on the world-famous Bonsai Pipeline at the Volcom Pipe Pro, Saturday, June 10th on NBC. Now that looks fun. This just looks tough. But they say you win your titles on your bad days. Eli Tomac trying to salvage it. Front brake problems on the first lap. He's going to lose the points lead for sure. Now, the way it works in motocross is 40 riders are on the track, but only the top 20 score championship points. So he has to try to pass 4 more riders, and I think he just got 1. And if he can get 20th, he will score 1 point today. And yes, there have been some titles that have been won and lost by a single point. And as he goes over the finish line, we'll get another update on exactly where he is in the order. And what makes this charge even more impressive, not just that he was last and nearly a lap behind when this race began, but that he no longer has a front brake. Yeah. That didn't cut the front brake. So he is running without a brake, and as you know, what do they say? It's 75, 80% of your stopping power, your front?
Well, at a track like this, yes, because with the uphills and downhills, it's a high-speed track. You need front brakes, especially on those any of the downhills where they come into those tight turns. And oh, you can see he's still trying, and man,
with 23rd,
frustrating for Tomac. It seems like when things start going well for him, something happens. And he's probably thinking the same thing. I'd like to know what actually caused the problem on the front brake. I think right before, when you said he was having problems, I think in that chicane, before we saw we got next to Grant early in the race, I think he may have made contact with someone, because the front disc, the way you look at it, see it's on the front left. So
speaking of Grant, he did not come around. Grant was in 20th. he didn't come around across the finish line on that lap, so now Grant has gone out of this race after an early crash. So that's going to gift one more position to Tomac, but that's only 22nd. He still has to catch Pearson and Tedder to try to get into the top 20 and salvage a point.
Well, even without having to catch guys, if you just keep circulating with 2 laps to go, you know, if someone else crashes and you pass one guy, you know, it all helps. But what a crazy race. See the long shadows. That whole corner is just in the darkness. They land back into the darkness. That's what I was saying with this track. There's so many elements.
That's the next rider that would be. They're both a lap behind, but this would be pass for position for Tomac. These are the struggles when you're riding with a front wheel and a front brake. It's not quite the way it's supposed to be. Pearson in sight.
Yeah, you can just see the intensity from Tomac. It's nothing like. I think Pearson's pulling over, thinking Tomac's coming to lap him.
You're right.
Yeah, he just pulled over like he's not used to being actually passed by Tomac with a lap and a half to go, deep in the second moto. But crazy turn of events, and that's why, like we say, that's why they line them up to go racing, because you just never know. The fastest guy doesn't always win, and more often than not, the fastest guy doesn't win because of elements.
Who'd have thought Connor Pearson out of Rockland, California would be a factor in this championship potentially with the points that could be on the line with these positions. And we're continuing to watch some of the battles here. The next guy that Tomac would have to get is Alex Ray on the number 20 Yamaha. A-Ray is holding on to the last points paying position, and there you just saw him come by. Now Alex is going to go race up in Canada for most of the summer, but is just using this as a training run, and I think you're right. I think these guys, oh no, Ray's got a problem. I thought he was letting him by. He went off the track, and I think he has an issue. So this could be 1 point. Boy, poor A-Ray was in position to get that point, and something has gone wrong here with a lap and a half to go. So what a salvage job for Tomac to get 1 point out of this, which might make all the difference by the time we get to our finale in Indiana at the end of August.
Yeah. Hypothetically, it is always that situation. But yeah, Jason Anderson, he's out front, no problems, no mechanical. Needed a rebound race after last weekend. And how else can you do it? Jersey untucked as usual. That means he's just feeling his groove. He's got the rhythm. Coming up to the white flag. 1 more lap to go. When you got a lead like this, there's one thing you love seeing is that white flag, because you just know I got one more chance to just cruise around this track, not take any risks. Watch. He's just doing what he knows how to do. There's Bag in the background coming into the turn prior. So he's got, you know, what is it showing? Just over 8 seconds. So for a ride of this caliber, you can tone it down and know you've got this in the bag. You can hear the crowd. They're excited.
But Anderson not in position to win the overall today. He will finish second after finishing 4th in the first moto. That will be edged out by Muscan, who is looking at a 1st and a 3rd. And Anderson, 1 career moto win in the 250 class. This will be the first one ever on a 450. Sorry, he's 5th in the first moto. Yeah. So 5-1 is going to get him 2nd overall. Now, when Ryan Dungey chose to retire, multi-time series champ, before this series began, there was a lot of talk about who's the big dog now over at the KTM team, which would be Marvin Muscan. He's the lone rider left on that team to try to win this title. But Anderson, Dungey, and Muscan all training together with Eldon Baker. So I got to think there's a little bit of an alpha dog thing. Hey, all eyes started to look at Muscan as the next guy out of that facility to try to deliver a title. Well, Anderson got something to say here. He can win races as well. Championship's tough because he did not finish in a moto last week, but he knows it's his opportunity to shine, just like it is for Marvin.
Well, we said it early in the show. No one in this class has won this championship, and that is very, very rare. Over the years, we've seen guys like Carmichael that had multi-championships, and other riders in between. Stewart. Before that, you know, we talk about the old greats, but in the modern day era, you look at it, a lot of these, we call them youngsters, they moved up. They're now the veterans of the motorsport series, but they're in their mid-20s. But for Anderson, he's at the right place. He's on a great bike. That Rockstar Husky team, they've shown that they are like legit as can be, as well as the fact he's working with Eldon Baker, who's proven that he can produce champions. He's at the right time. This is what happens. Some good luck, a good start. Don't make big mistakes. Hopefully not for a rock in the eye. And guess what? This can happen.
Yep, it's all fallen into place for Jason Anderson, who's going to win his first ever 450 Motocross Moto here at Glen Helen. But the overall win via consistency is going to go to Marvin Musquin. Blake Baggett going to finish the moto in second. Musquin here, who won the first moto today, is going to finish third. So with 1-3 scores, for the first time, Marvin Musquin is an overall winner in the 450 class of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. And perhaps even larger, he's going to take the points lead.
Yeah, that's the big picture. Huge.
Yeah. He finished second last week. Tomac with the struggles here. Marvin's got a second and a first on the year. He'll have the red plate on that KTM when we go racing next week in Colorado. We'll talk to him when we return.
Welcome back to Glen Helen. Marvin Musquin, congratulations, taking the overall win. First moto, you took the win. Second moto, third place. You didn't have the best start, so for you, do you think that that really solidified how important it was?
Yeah, starts are really important, and I was looking forward to another whole shot into that second moto, but it didn't work out, and we had to fight for it, and yeah, I got to third place, and but Jason and Blake were a step, you know, ahead of me and faster than me. So I think a couple lines I was losing sometimes, but I was trying to be consistent. And third place in that second moto, it's good and good enough for the overall. And first time ever in outdoors. And yeah, I'm proving that I'm getting better. And even outdoors, I can ride a 450. And you know, Glen Helen, it's definitely a tough track. And but thanks to the fans for coming out. And I remember that one. Thank you.
Huge congratulations, Marvin Musquin.
Thanks, Georgia. And there's your Lucas Oil race recap. Best way to sum up the crazy day here at Hindenburg. Oh, the humanity for the Kawasaki riders. Grant crashes. At the same time, Tomac on the outside of the same corner has front brake problems, and your series points leader would go to last place.
Yeah, not sure what happened there, but then the battle was up front. Jason Anderson, look, Baggett looks over at his pit board. Anderson gets the power to the ground. And we know these bikes have similar power. I just think he caught Baggett napping there, got up front, and then Christian Craig tucks the front end, loses that. Musquin takes back the lead, and you could tell he was in some pain.
Yeah, so that would allow Musquin to get into a podium spot, combined with a win earlier today. A first and a third for the weekend gives him his first ever 450 class overall. Here are your moto results. Jason Anderson, his first ever 450 moto win, holding off Baggett. Tickle and Bogle, the Suzuki teammates, 4th and 5th. Let's go back to Georgia.
Yes, Jason Anderson, I bet you are so pleased leaving with that moto win. I know last weekend you had a rock to the eye, you had stitches, yet it looks pretty good, and you took the win.
Yeah, for sure. I had a little bit of bad luck last weekend, but you know, even that first moto wasn't so hot. I need to put myself in a better position, but super excited to come out with that win, and really wish I could have done better that first moto so I could have got the overall, but pumped for my my dude Marvin, and looking forward to, you know, getting a couple wins myself this outdoor season. So I just want to thank the whole Rockstar Energy Husqvarna team, and you know, we're going to try our butts off and try and get some more wins.
Congratulations, Jason Anderson, his first career 450 podium win. Well done.
Well, the doors open, and the question was who was going to walk through it. It was Anderson to win the moto and Musquin to win the overall. Anderson finishes second overall with the 5th in the first moto. And Baggett, I know that Rocky Mountain WPS KTM team going to be happy to have an overall podium in third. And Dean Wilson, very consistent through the first 4 motos this season, finishes 4th. And Weston Pike, who is not even scheduled to be on a motorcycle yet after fighting back from a wrist injury, finishes 5th. Tomac and Grant 9th and 10th after both finishing up in the top 3 last week. That is the theme of the day. It has been up and down for everyone. Let's go back to Georgia.
Yes, Blake Baggett, congratulations being up here 3rd overall on the podium after today. We spoke this morning and you said you did make a lot of changes on your bike coming into Glen Helen as far as, you know, the first round at Hangtown. What was the biggest change? And obviously it worked.
I mean, definitely we changed from suspension, clamps, motor mounts, linkage, we changed everything. So just tried to start fresh coming in here, and it's been a while since we've been on the podium and getting on the new bike. It just wasn't that comfortable yet. So still going to take a few more rounds until we can, you know, battle for wins, but at least we led a little bit, and just got to give it up to the whole Rocky Mountain, ATV, MC, WPS, KTM team, Fly Racing, Scott Goggles, Alpine Star, just everybody that's behind me, and we'll get there. We'll be up here on the top spot soon.
Congratulations. Thanks, Blaine Baggett.
And here are your standings. Marvin Musquin, as we said, takes the points lead away, a 15-point gap now on Eli Tomac. Baggett is third, so Marvin will be carrying the red plate into our third round in Colorado. And it's all pretty close up there because there's so many ups and downs for everyone. And that, we try to make it sound dramatic by saying anything can happen in racing, but today really proved it in both classes.
Oh, absolutely. We saw it firsthand. Mechanicals, crashes, just problems in the opening laps. Wow. I mean, who would have predicted what we saw today? I don't think anyone.
No. And here's your upcoming schedule as this championship fight will continue to roll on in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Next week, we go to Colorado, just outside of Denver at Thunder Valley. MAV TV is the first motos. Second motos coming right after that on NBCSN, or you can watch everything live on the NBC Sports Gold app, including our practice show every Saturday morning. And there will also be a highlight show of this Glen Helen race. It's going to be tough to pack all these highlights in there. That'll be coming up in a couple of days midweek from Glen Helen on NBCSN. So Marvin Musquin is going to be the points leader. So everyone was wondering how he would respond with his teammate Ryan Dungey choosing to go into retirement. Been pretty solid so far.
Yeah, if you're Roger DaCosta, you couldn't hope for anything better than your one and only rider becoming a superstar at the moment. Not such a great day for some other riders seeing hit the ground, but that's Glen Helen. Jason, you know more than anyone. Yeah, it was tough on everybody. Zach Osborne wins the 250 class for the second week in a row. Marvin Musquin taking his first ever win in the 450 class. Tough luck for the Cowie boys, but they'll be back next week for sure. For Grant and George, I'm Jason. Thanks for watching, and congrats to Marvin Musquin.